It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant.
The Brilliant Reports Podcast.
Oh, man, I'm just so drained and exhausted. You know, the Breonna Taylor verdict was yesterday. I didn't expect justice. I didn't expect, the cops to be held responsible. You know what I'm saying? And listen,
Right.
I've looked at the case. I totally understand the case. At the least, you got to get a manslaughter, right? At the least.
To whom? I have someone who I think that they should give manslaughter to, but it's actually not one of those cops.
Really?
Yeah.
Who should it be?
The person that potentially lied to get her house under surveillance. Because I think what is his name? James something, Jones or something like that.
Who you talking about?
There is apparently there is a cop who, in order to get her house on the surveillance list, lied, I guess, about like her connection to this alleged drug dealer that she was dating prior, or like gave misleading information to put it, because there's no reason to put her house there because she's not involved. She's not even with the guy anymore. So why is it even on the list? So if it turns out that that person did falsify things to get her house on, and then this ended up happening, you gotta charge him with bare minimum manslaughter.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with the whole situation, right? Like clearly mistakes were made. Whether it was that what you're talking about, the fact that they changed things on the report after the fact, you know what I mean?
Oh,
the
yeah.
officers did. Like, so clearly there was some type of malpractice that happened.
100%.
There's no job in America that you can fuck up on and there's not some type of consequences or repercussions.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that the cops willfully kicked in the door and was like, oh, it's black people in here, let's kill them. You know what I mean? But there was a mistake made. And the fact that Breonna Taylor happens to be a black woman, it just, piles on the feeling that so many of us already have, which is America just does not give a fuck about black lives.
Yeah, this is like, this really sucks, because if we all had the feeling that America does care about black lives, then we could look at this case
Objectively.
a little bit more objectively
Yes.
based on what happened. Like, obviously, it's a tragedy what happened, right? But when you look at the events that transpired, they go to this house. There's some discrepancy on what other
Under false pretenses.
under false pretenses that could have been lied about by this dude, who I think needs to be held accountable 100%. Some are saying that they did knock on the door. Some are saying they didn't. I believe the Breonna Taylor's boyfriend said that they did hear a knock, and that's why he went.
No, he didn't.
I think he said that they did, and then some neighbors are saying there was no knock, and some neighbors are saying there are.
I don't remember. I do remember him saying something to the effect of he screamed. He said, "Yo, who's there?" And nobody said anything.
Yeah.
Right, but
So they heard he said he heard the knock,
Right.
but he didn't hear them announce themselves as police.
But don't you think that's stupid? If you have a no knock warrant, why would you knock?
it makes no sense. But just to get into like the shooting part, right? So it's like he sees somebody break into his home who has not announced himself as the police, so he has every right to defend himself. 100%,
baby. Yes.
right. The police think they're breaking into a potential drug spot, right? So when they break in and they see
And
or like
gunfire
hear
is coming,
gunfire,
they're like, "Oh shit,
like
we got
it's
action."
on. Boom, exactly.
Yeah.
So both sides. This is the crazy thing that's going on, right? Both sides think that they're shooting at drug dealers. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend is thinking, oh shit, is this Breonna's ex who's upset that I'm dating her now? He might be in the streets allegedly
'Cause
involved in
he
some
did
shit.
say that. Very important to know. He did say he thought that it was the ex-boyfriend.
It was the ex-boyfriend.
breaking in or something like
Right?
that. Yeah.
So he's like, oh shit, this is a drug dealer. He's going to kill me. And then the police are like, oh, we're breaking into this drug house. They're shooting at us. So both sides think they're actually shooting at the same person.
Yeah.
And both sides, unfortunately, were both in their rights to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened afterwards when the cops are covering up what the fuck happened because they know they fucked up. They need to be held accountable for that shit.
Absolutely.
And that dude who potentially lied to get her house under surveillance when it should have never been surveyed in the first place need to be held accountable for that. But I'm like, what do you say to the cops? Like, what do you tell them?
Yeah, I don't. I'm not.
What would you do to those cops that are there? What would you do?
I would hold them accountable for trying to cover shit up.
100%. Do you hold? Because, but the verbiage that we hear is arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Is it arrest the cops that covered up the death of Breonna Taylor? Is that more? Yeah, 100% same cops. But is that more like an accurate?
But that's what makes it look like it was an actual, like, more than a mistake. The fact that they tried to cover it up. But that's what people do. They try to cover up their fucking mistakes.
100%.
But the moral of the story is somebody should have been held accountable. There's no way. I don't even know what the fuck wonton endangerment. What the fuck? I thought wonton was a soup. I'm serious. What the fuck is that? I had to look that shit up. I'm like, what the fuck is wonton endangerment?
Chinese taking over, bro.
These guys, yo, you know what's so crazy? No, man. What's so crazy?
They taking over our laws, bro, our flus.
I'm selling a property, and I was at the property, and this dude comes immediately, not stereotyping. I just knew he was from Staten Island. As soon as I saw him, as soon as he pulled, I'm just like, this guy is all the way from Staten Island. He's like,
he looked like a cop.
He's like, hey, look like a fucking cop.
Everybody in Staten Island looks like a cop, bro. There's one way to look out there, like a cop.
He had the slick back hair.
Exactly.
He's like, hey, is your property? I'm like, yeah. He's like, got the for sale sign. You know? He's like, can we talk without the brokers? The broker? Like, what?
Yo, Italians, bro. Keep going, man. We're going to talk about Italians, bro.
So immediately, I'm on guard now. And you might have been stereotyping me, but he wasn't, because he did ask me if this is my property. He didn't say, hey, you cutting grass here? You know, he did ask me. So I'm like, he's like, can we do it without the broker? And I'm like, well, I already got an offer or whatever. He's like, yeah, my brother is, he wants to move out here, and he's looking for a place close to us. And I'm like, where's your brother live at? I already know what he's gonna say. Oh, Staten Island. Staten Island. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he goes, somebody made you offer, huh? What kind of offer? I said, cash offer. Did you get what you want? I said, yeah, pretty much. He goes, Chinese, isn't it? He goes, those Chinese, man. He goes, those Chinese.
He's not wrong, though. Bro, you want to know something, dude? When I was buying my place in Manhattan, right? What ended up happening with him?
That was it.
That was it.
I started, it felt so good. I go, no, Muslim. And he was like, look, it's like when I said Muslim, he was like, look, let me give you my number. All right. I need to call you. I think we can beat whatever offer you're making. Like, whatever you do, please don't sell it to the Muslims. That shit was crazy, man.
That's just his plan to make America white again?
I have
just
no
buy
idea.
up all the properties where the minorities live. When I was buying my place, there was 2 properties that like I put money down on, and then I got not outbid, but I just got bid the same amount, but it was all cash offers by Chinese.
Wow.
Yeah. It was Chinese and Russian buyers from outside of the country. And it's just them trying to get their money out of China or Russia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? I wonder why.
I don't know. Maybe they have more control of it over here. Less restrictions from the Chinese government. I don't know. But like, apparently we cut that shit out. You can't just be from China and just like buying a property. That's what happened in Vancouver. Apparently, like China owns all the not all, but like a huge amount of the apartments in Vancouver. And then people from Vancouver can't afford to live there because all the apartments are just bought up and no one's even living in them.
Well, I'm not mad at the Chinese for figuring it the fuck out.
Yeah.
All right. So they figured out their economic power and they are using it as they should.
That is so true though about Italians never want to just pay for things the way they're paid for.
He's rubbing his chin like, can we do it without the broker?
But like, even like I got, first of all, like I got a buddy, right? Like when he pays for dinner, he gives the waiter the cash like that. And he kind of like looks away. And it's like, you're not doing anything illegal, buddy. He goes, thank you very much. He kind of like looks around. It's like, yo, you're obeying the law by paying for your meal. That's how things work. Dude, I have another buddy, Paul Verzi. Shout out to Paul Verzi, very funny comedian.
Oh, man.
This guy tips everybody. Everybody. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, when you tip at a restaurant, you just tip at the end and then that tip goes to everybody, right? But like the guy comes over, brings water. He goes, this kid was hustling. I mean, he was sweating. I had my cup down to 25%. He's back over the table. He's filling that cup up. He goes, I had to give him some cheese. I go, what do you mean? I peeled off a couple. Hit him some cheese. I'd be like, hey, that water's full, kid. And I appreciate what you do. Everybody gets a little scratch.
That's good. At least you paid attention to detail. Because these waiters do be busting their ass.
But bro, the busboy too, the waiter, the busboy, wasn't Paul saying shit, Al? Dude, this guy tips everybody.
God,
the guy at the subway, thank you for the Metro card. Eh?
Listen, I guess the moral of the story, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. I don't have no answers for nobody no more, bro.